What's up, Colts Nation? Man, I'm having a great day, and I hope you guys are too. The reason I'm having such a great day is because today we get to talk about one of my favorite parts of football. That's right, the big nasties, the trench warriors. Specifically today, I wanted to talk to you guys about Bernhard Raimann.
Could you school us on how you want your name to be said? Because we've heard Raymond, Ryman. How do you want us to say it?
Bernhard Raimann is
Ryman?
fine.
Man, what a story this young man has. But before we get into that, you guys know how I like to do it. I like to go over the measurables and the combine numbers. So first off, the young man's a left tackle out of Central Michigan. He's 6'6" with 32 and 7/8 inch arms. He's got an 80 and 1/8 inch wingspan with a massive 10 and 1/4 inch hands. All right. Now, this young man at the combine ran the 40-yard dash in 5.05 with a 30 and a half inch vertical and a 9'9" broad jump. 300 plus pounds at 9'9" broad jump tells me there's a lot of explosion in this young man. And he also got 30 reps on the bench press. Man, I'll tell you right now, those numbers are awesome, guys. You know, we sat there, we talked about this RAS, right? The RAS score, and 10 being the highest. This young man scored a 9.87 on the RAS. Like I said, Ballard is really hitting those physical freaks this year. And this is just another young man that slots into that need. And not only does he check off, fill all those needs as far as the physicality and stuff, but he hits a lot of those character things, the Ballard boxes, I call them, you know what I mean? As far as, the intelligence and the toughness and what motivates this young man and just what is he's willing to give for the game. And I'll tell you right now, guys, when you hear his story, you're going to realize that he checks a lot of those boxes with massive check marks, okay? But I do want to be honest with you guys, all right? When I first was looking into this young man and just all the tackles in general before the draft and stuff, I was really, there were some red flags for me. You see the 32 and 7/8 inch arms, and it's like, man, I don't really like that number at all for a left tackle, And then you realize, oh man, he's going to be 25 years old by the start of the 2022 season. So you're like, that's 25-year-old rookie. It's like, these are things that I'm just like, man, I just don't know. But I'll tell you right now, and shout out to Braden Smith, because he helped snap me out of my number phobia or whatever, my number coma that I was in or whatever. Because you sit there and you think about it, and he talked about how everybody was saying that Braden and Danny Penner both had short arms, and that was a knock on them. I would argue they're doing just fine in the NFL. What do you guys think? And the thing is for me, I knew this. I just, like I said, I get lost in the numbers sometimes, and I sort of forget that. And you watch the film, and you see this young man's footwork and just how quick and agile he is. And like I said, the physical freakness of them all and stuff. It's like, man, all of a sudden he makes some of those concerns really sort of wither away for me. And I'll tell you right now, guys, I do think the Colts have found themselves a good one. All right? But now let's get into the best part about this, and that's this young man's story. I mean, imagine, guys, you're 13 years old, your mom and dad just got divorced. Your dad moves to a new town in Vienna, Austria, right? And all of a sudden you move in with your dad and you see the neighbor kids and they're playing with this funky shaped football, and you're like, you have no idea about American football, okay? I mean, when Bernhard Raimann was growing up, he was a soccer player. He was, winter sports. That was pretty much all he knew, okay? And it was funny. I sat there and was watching one of the interviews whenever they were asking him about it, and he was like, "Yeah, I love soccer, but he goes, it wasn't physical enough. There wasn't enough contact." Well, I'll tell you what, I loved hearing that, especially when you're talking about one of our big nasties. But I digress. Like I said, the thing was you sit there and you understand that this young man, okay, yeah, he's 25-year rookie, but he didn't have all that wear and tear from age 6 and 7 like a lot of these young men. You know what I mean? He didn't have that knowledge, to learn and stuff, the game. So he needed that time to sort of develop. And the thing is now, boom, all of a sudden he finds out he loves the game, right? He's 14 years old, and his dad gets him into a Vienna Vikings youth league just to keep, cultivating that love of the game and stuff. He played wide receiver. That's all, that's what he learned at the game and stuff. But the thing was because, football was just basically hand the ball and run. He got really good at the blocking part of things, all right? Okay, and then you sit there and you find out that this young man really had a passion for the game, and he wasn't going to let anything stand in his way. He sat there and he's like, you know what, I'm going to become a foreign exchange student and go to the United States and play play football there. So lo and behold, boom, his junior year of high school, the young man moves in with the Ferris family out of Delton, Michigan. Okay, great family from everything I've heard. I mean, you talk about a perfect fit for this young man. This really helped nurture that love of the game and stuff, right? And the thing is it wasn't like he just sat there and said, I'm just going to go over there and play football. No, this young man lettered in wrestling, football, and track his junior year. Okay, once again, we talk about that it factor, right? Well, this is just another example of that it factor and how we hope that it'll help elevate him, right? The thing is he goes back to Austria to finish out his high school, right? Because it was just a one-year exchange program. So then he goes back to Austria. Well, the thing was he didn't get a lot of notoriety because it was a small Division 7 school. But the awesome thing was this Ferris family, they engaged Bernhard and got him in a lot of these 7-on-7s, a lot of these travel events and stuff where he got to participate and practice against higher level athletes and stuff. And that right there was a saving grace for his dream. You know what I mean? To be honest with you, because the thing was he plays 1 year in his junior year, and then he goes back to Vienna for his final high school year, and then he has this commitment that they have in Austria. He has a 6-month commitment that he has to the military that he has to fulfill, and he doesn't whine about it or shirk it. No, this young man sits there, and no obstacle gets in his way. He says no. He goes and he honors his commitment to the military, and just pushes. And he gets what they call a gray shirt. But then he starts with Central Michigan. Okay. Well, like I said, they'd seen him in 7-on-7s and stuff. But the thing was even in high school, his 1 year was a very run dominant wing T type offense. So there was, he was just basically a blocker. So they took him in as a tight end at Central Michigan, right? So he doesn't even get to start until 2018. That's his quote first year of organized college football in the MAC, right? So he's playing tight end in 2018 and 2019. Boom, 2020 comes up all of a sudden. Now this young man is filled out. He's gone through that growth spurt that these young men go through, and he's at 245, and which is good for a tight end. But the thing was the team was so needy at the tackle position, and everything that he had done the first 2 years was basically inline blocking and stuff, and he'd excelled at. So the coaches said, hey, Bernhard, you think you could go in and run with the tackles for a little bit? Bernhard gets 2 practices at it, loves it. He absolutely loves it. He's like, yeah, this is what I love about the game and stuff, that physicality and stuff. And the thing is the coaches are like, hey, Bernhard, do you think you'd be willing to work in as a tackle? And he's like, sure, coach, whatever the team needs. Sound familiar? Same thing that we heard with Jelani Woods. Same thing that we hear with a lot of these young men from this year's draft. But then the thing is okay, this young man sits there and he gets 2 practices under the belt, and then all of a sudden all this COVID protocols come in, right? Now he can't practice. He can't even get into the gym. Remember what that was like, guys? So what does this young man do? He sits there and he gets online and he learns how to play the tackle position to the best of his ability on his own. Like I said, guys, no obstacle gets in this young man's way.
Back paragraphs of things I can do better, things I'm doing wrong. He would even send me videos of himself, showing how it should be done or how it should look. And then I just really, start diving into watching NFL tackles, try to, mimic the game as the best I could.
He is chasing and he is driven like what you want to see from your elite athletes, So then, not only does he sit there and try to develop skills and stuff so that whenever it comes time to play football again, he'll be ready. He goes from 245 to 290. March of 2020, he's 245. When the MAC starts their season up again, he has 6 games. 6 games, okay, in 2020 at the MAC level. Then in 2021, he gets his first full season of playing left tackle. And all he doesn't know, he just receives, all MAC first team what was it, Mac Award of Excellence. I mean, this young man got a ton of accolades. And I'll tell you right now, you sit there and you think, okay, cool, that's great. Is this, is his dream done? And, and he doesn't, you know what I mean? This kid keeps driving, keeps pushing. He's hungry for more. And the thing is you sit there and you listen to every level of coaching that this young man's gone through. And they talk about how he does something once or twice and all of a sudden he's really good at it. Not perfect, but, everything takes more development and time. But he's really good at it. And the thing is you sit there and you realize how quickly, even with just learning on his own, how quickly he acclimated to this position. Tell me that ain't a natural gift with a lot of drive and stuff. And then you sit there and you look at what he did at his Senior Bowl. We all know how much Ballard and the Colts organization, how highly they think of the Senior Bowl, right? So Bernhard Raimann comes in and he does not perform well day one, okay? And it's like, oh no, he doesn't sit there and whine about it and throw his hands up in the air. No, the young man comes back day 2. Day 3, and he just shows out against this much higher level of competition.
Obviously, they were huge games, really good competition. And then for me personally, I didn't even think about the whole NFL process about these games too much. I was just, honored to be here. I'm just like, being from Austria, you don't get to play in stadiums like that. So I was just having fun out there. I always compete. Like if it's practice or if it's in the game, it doesn't matter.
So much so that it catches a lot of the Colts organization's attention. Guys, I'm telling you right now, this young man is no slouch. And then you sit there and you talk about intelligence. Like I said, he learns this stuff with 1 or 2 tries. I mean, he graduated with a double major in actuary science and statistics, okay, with a 3.80. I mean, so not only is he learning how to become an American, not only is he learning how to play the tackle position in college football, he's also sitting there and intelligence, drive, willingness to just be the best version. Like I said, guys, you see this throughout the entire draft for the Colts this year. And tell me that these aren't things that you can really build with. Man, I am so pumped to sit there and see what this young man brings at the next level. But like I said, guys, let's don't put the cart before the horse. Who knows? We may find Matt Pryor ends up being the next Hart Glenn, okay? And if that's the case, that's fine because this young man can sit there and be that very fit in at guard, at right guard, at left guard. Whatever needs to happen. This young man, like I said, this year, I can't wait to sit there and just watch him in training camp and get those reps and stuff. But I'm telling you right now, from what I've heard and the way he learns it and all the accolades and everything that are touted on this young man, I mean, gosh darn it, this just really excites me. And like I said, guys, the sky's the limit with this guy too. And the thing is I know I'm saying that about a lot of these guys, but shout out to Ballard and the scouting staff because they are really finding some absolutely awesome young men with phenomenal athletic scores. They're just, you can see what it is that drives these guys to be the best version of what they can be. Guys, I am so pumped to see it. And I'll tell you right now, Bernhard Raimann, you become the Indianapolis. I've always wanted to have my own Terminator. And that's what I think of whenever I think of Austria is Arnold Schwarzenegger and I'll be back. And I'm telling you right now, it is awesome to sit there and think that the Colts may have found themselves their own, honest to God, real life Terminator. So until later, guys, like my guy Lawrence always says, have a good one.
Just because a player's not a household name doesn't mean we can't make him a household name.